Okay, hello everybody, and here we are for tutorial number 3. Today we're going to learn about handling curves. We're going to see some options about curves and how to work with curves on Rhinoceros. So the first thing we're going to do is that we're going to open Rhinoceros in small object centimeters. Okay, now when you have the viewports, we're going to start drawing on the front view, okay? But before we start this activity, I want you to you can download an image of fruit and put it on your drive, on your hard drive. You can use that one, and you can use any picture. You can also download, you can put basic drawings on YouTube, and the example that I'm going to use is this kitty over here, like easy kitting drawing. So you can download it and save it to your computer, and there it is. Okay, so after you save that, we are going to work with that picture because I want you to sketch or to copy that picture on Rhinoceros. So here we're going to learn a couple of things. One is when you have a model that you want to duplicate on Rhinoceros, then you can download an image and you can put it there. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is that we're going to maximize the front view. We're going to right click on the label, and we are going to go to background bitmap place. Okay. Now we're going to place the picture that I told you about, okay, and we are going to set where we're gonna make the placement. Okay, so you're gonna make a square of where to place your kitten. Okay, since I already did it, what I'm gonna do is that I'm just gonna show it. So you place it like this, and you will have the bitmap on the background. Okay, the idea is to put the bitmap on the background, and now after you have the bitmap on the background, we can start sketching our little kitten. Okay, so using the curve tool that we saw on the last tutorial, we're going to click on it and we're going to start sketching. Like, you can zoom in to sketch as much as possible, so you can be very precise and sketch all the way, like all the way around until you finish. Okay, now you can continue all the way until you have your kitten ready. Okay, so after you finish doing the sketch of the kitten, you will have something like this, and we just want to see on the back. So I want to hide the background bitmap, so I'm going to go to front view, to the label, and right click background bitmap, and I'm going to click on hide. That way I have the mold of the kitten that I just drew. So this is going to help me for the design that I'm making. Okay. Now for this kitten, I can also make eyes, the nose, the mouth, and the whiskers. So we can use that with the tools that we have. So with a circle, I'll probably make 2 eyes. Now this circle, I want to copy and paste it. You know how to do that already. And I'm going to make a smaller circle inside, and then I'm going to copy and paste it again and move it to the side. Now for the nose, I would probably use an ellipse. It's not really an ellipse, but this is like a funny cat. Okay, you guys can change it, or you can make your own nose. And for the whiskers, I'll probably use curves, so I can After I finish with the curve and I want to finish there, I press enter, and I'm missing the other one. Okay, enter. So here I have my little kitten drawing. What I need for rhinoceros is some people just create the mold out of something that they want to do. Let's say you want to create a mold for chocolate or a mold for ice cream. Like, these molds can be created using an image and then turning it into a solid. Okay, so now you can add anything you like. The whiskers can be done using polylines. Okay. So it's very simple when you want to create and using curves. Okay, so you can use the kitten. You guys, for this tutorial, after you finish the tutorial, you should do some of the curves with fruits. Okay, you have to show the kitten. At the end, you have to upload the kitten, and you can put 1 or 2 fruits, okay, that you want on the same work. Okay, just exactly the same process that we did. Okay, so you can place the fruit over here and just sketch it. Okay, what I want to show is that there are some other tools for curves. Okay, if you leave the control point curve pressed, then you can see that there are more options for curves. Okay, we're going to see some others. In this case, there's one that this one is like there's a different type of curve, so you want to try it out. In this case, when you move the curve, you change the handle and the curve. Okay, so this one is very nice to do, so you can play with that. Okay, and there's another one called like when you can write on the surface, like you can make a polyline on a surface or in a poly surface. Okay, the next one is a curve with handles, just like in Illustrator or Photoshop or CorelDRAW. You can make curves using a handle. In this case, when I'm going to draw a curve, there's a handle where I can see how the curve is going to change. So I'm going to make a curve over here, and I establish the handle so I can make the curve. Some people work really well with these handles because they want to make the curve wider or more narrow. Okay, okay, so this would be more or less what you guys are looking at. Okay, now after this, after you've played with the different curves, you can erase them, so you just learn how to use them. Okay, another one that is very important is the sketching. Okay, is the last option on that row, and is for you to sketch. So you can I'm sorry, it's this one, the sketching one. Okay, now in order to sketch, you can use a pad or you can use the mouse, and you can make any drawing. This is completely freehand. Okay, and you can sketch any curve you want. Okay, it's completely freehand. That is the other tool, and you can continue sketching just like you were doing on paper. Okay, and the last tool from that row is it's building curves out of polylines. So what I'm gonna do is that first of all, I'm going to click on the polyline, and I'm going to create any figure that has straight lines. Okay, and this figure is it has straight lines, has polylines. Now I want to make a curve, or I want to make a curve out of that figure. So what I do is that I click over here, and the last one is to select the polylines. Now the command line says select polylines to build curves through. So I'm going to select the polyline, okay, that I created. and I'm going to press enter. And as you see, there's a curve that goes around the polyline. Okay, and there are some degrees that you can change. So if I put 3 and press enter, then the curves are, it's going to turn more into a circle. Okay, so that if I put 2 degrees, it's going to stick more to the polylines. So that way I can create a polyline out of a curve out of a polyline, and then at the end when I'm done, I can press enter and I can erase the polyline and I'll have a curve. Okay, those curves are very smooth and they can be created for different things. So if you have this cat completely squared, then you could do that with making a curve out of a polyline. Okay, so I'm going to erase this one. Now there are other options, of course. There are start of conic, like you can have a curve and just the start point and the end point, and then you can fix the curve out of an arc. Okay, so maybe this is another way of creating curves. Okay, that one is really handy. Let's watch it one more time. Start point, end point, and then I can create my curve. Okay, so sometimes drawing that way makes it a lot easier for different options. Okay, and of course you can see many different types of curves. In this case, this curve is to create a wave. Okay, so it's kind of like a swirl. Okay, so you can create curves from here. Let me repeat that again. And you can make anything you want. Okay, like how big, how high. You can make it around a curve. So let me show you this option. So I'm going to create a curve, a very simple curve. Okay, and then I want to make a swirl out of that curve. So I click on the swirl button, and on the command line it says a round curve. So I click on a round curve and it says select the curve. So I want to select the curve around this. Okay, and then I can change the size of my swirl. Okay. Okay. Very good. Now, all the curves that you can make is for you to draw. Okay, it's freehand curves, polylines. They are very useful when you are creating from scratch, because it's something that is not very specific, like creating a fruit. Okay. So what we're gonna do, or what you're gonna do for your task, is oh, you also have a little typhoon here. That's another option. I want you to explore all the curve options so you know what you can do, and maybe when you need them later for projects, it will be easier. So with this one, it's to create like a little typhoon, and it changes like the size. Okay, so you need 3 clicks. Let me show it to you again. Okay, now first I do the swirl, and then I can make the wave look start bigger and then decrease, etc. Okay, so you can do a lot of stuff. You can do a lot of type of curves. Okay, these curves, when they turn into solids, are very, very handy, because you can make springs, you can make waves, you can make a weird straw out of a cup. So there are many things that are very handy using curves. Okay, you can also see all these options on the curve tab on the top menu where it says curve. You can on curves you can make lines, polylines, rectangles, polygons, freeform, and here on the freeform are the ones that we did. these are the options that we worked on. Okay, all the free-form curves. You also know about polygon, circle, arc, ellipse, parabola, etc. All these are options that we continue to work with using curves. Okay, as long as the tutorials will be getting more complex, we will see about extending the curves, filleting the curves, chamfer the curves, connecting curves, and all these options that are very, very useful for connecting and filleting the different curves. Okay, so that is about it. And oh, remember that for the work that you need to hand in, you need to download a picture of fruits and just sketch the fruits and just show me that you worked with different types of curves. Okay, remember that there shouldn't be any work copied, because this is completely free. Okay, this is a free work after you learn the tutorials. Okay, so good luck.